Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today we have a fresh start to the week. Let's go over the market. Let's go over Tesla. Let's see what happened. Let's try to dissect it and try to figure out what is in store up until potentially earnings, which is in just under 2 weeks, right? It's not this coming Friday. It is, no, sorry, Wednesday, I believe. I think it's Wednesday. It says right here. Let me just check. It should say somewhere around here. Earnings is essentially in about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. It is, of course, going to be on, the Wednesday. It's not this coming Wednesday, obviously, but the Wednesday after that, I believe. No, even the one after that. So it's actually in just about 2.5 weeks, roughly. Anyway, the point is earnings is on its way. So let's talk about it. Let's see if we can figure out how this stock is going to move. Roughly running up potentially closer to earnings and essentially how today looks and all that stuff. So yeah, if you enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button as usual. And again, none of this is financial advice. Make your own decisions. Do your own research. Let's jump into it. Tesla ending the day up just under 6%, which is fantastic. Closing the day just under $120 compared to the market. A fantastic outperformance, where the SPY was essentially flat and the QQQ or the Nasdaq was up about 0.6%. So yeah, definitely a pretty nice substantial outperformance by Tesla, getting a nice bounce from an exceptionally oversold level so far. And yeah, so this is essentially more or less what I was wanting to see. Now, it's not perfect, and the reason it's not perfect is because, well, as I'm sure you guys hopefully remember, I did talk about how once we do get a rally all the way up to this level, first and foremost, we had those, moving the averages we wanted to break above, which we did, which is great. But like I said, even if we break above that, the main thing to watch out for is, of course, going to be the level that we have gotten rejected at already several times, right? Where we fell down here, came up to this, kind of mid 120s, let's just say level, rejected, slap back down, came back up to around the same rough level, slap back down, right? And now we're essentially back at that level once again, around that 123, give or take, level. And what happened? Well, we got smacked down once again. Now, thankfully, this isn't that much of a big smackdown just yet. It could turn into it, of course. It very well could, especially tomorrow with Powell talking in the morning, right? So you never really know. However, this is a level that you definitely want to be breaking. Like this kind of 123 to honestly 126, like that rough 3-ish point range, if you will, maybe even more than that, honestly, even as low as like 120 roughly. Pretty much the area that we're in up until as high as 126, that whole area is essentially just a massive level of resistance, right? Massive level of supply. So we want to definitely make sure we somehow find a way to break through it. Now, let's talk about it, and let's talk about whether or not I think we'll break through it. So first and foremost, right? So tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if it's potentially a red day overall in the markets. After Powell talks, it's usually the market's kind of very anxious, and when the market's anxious, it usually means red, right? So in other words, I wouldn't be surprised if the market's a little bit red and Tesla potentially coming to retest either one of two things, right? Either one is going to be, or first of which is rather going to be potentially this kind of, little channel that we, in theory, just broke out of, right? And then we come down to retest it tomorrow, and that'll bring us to around, 115, let's say, right? Potentially as low as even 113. I definitely don't want to see it go much lower than 113, which is going to be essentially that gap fill from this morning. That is a level that I definitely don't want to break, right? That would be ideal if we do not break that. Let me just check something here. Yeah, right. So definitely don't want to be breaking that level. That's for sure. That will be giving up all the gains today, by the way. But that gap fill would be a level that we want to, if we come down to hold and potentially, hopefully, bounce off of. And if we do, you can argue the fact that we are potentially setting up, a small-ish inverted head and shoulders if that were to happen, which will look something like that, right? Definitely an argument to be had there, or it could be just something as simple as retesting this potential breakout that we had of the channel today, which again will be around that kind of 115-ish level, very close to the gap fill at 113. So that general level, right, could be a very important level to, retest the breakout and or also go ahead and get that gap fill going as well, and potentially setting up, in theory, an inverted head and shoulders on a very smaller time frame. So it's not going to be substantial. However, it is still something worth noting, because in theory, if we were to go ahead and make that inverted head and shoulders, as an example, right, you never know, it's possible. That means that in theory, if we do break out of this area, that means that the stock can potentially run to around 143-ish, which is essentially my overall price target, right? That kind of 140 to 150 level, which I definitely still think Tesla has a chance to get there. It's just, it feels a little bit 50-50 right now, right? I wouldn't say it's a guaranteed thing, which is why I personally took an L today on a trade that was quite negative for quite a while now with the sold puts I had. I did buy them back today, and I took an L on those, of course. And the main reason is because, well, if we do rally, I have a bunch of shares that I'm more than happy to sell long dated calls against if we do go up to that 140, 150 level. And if we don't, and if we, let's say in theory, crash from here again, well, then not only are those sold puts safe now, but I can also resell new ones as well. And I also did enter a bought put today when Tesla was around 121, 122, somewhere around, 121 roughly. That's mainly as a hedge though. That's mainly as a hedge in case we do end up falling after Powell speaks, which is very common. It's more of a hedge. And if we do start to, if tomorrow is a red day, I will most likely exit that put. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. Other than that though, Tesla is, it is looking pretty decent in all honesty. It's not looking that bad at all, right? It's still looking like it wants to get a potential rally. Again, with this market, you never really know for sure, but it definitely seems like it wants to go and get the rally, go up to 140, maybe 150, essentially test the upper trend line of this yellow line up here, which again will take us to around that kind of 140 to 150 level, depending how fast it gets there. The RSI is looking fantastic, nice little bullish divergence setting up. You can see it's substantially peeking its head above everything, right? Even though the stock itself isn't really that much higher than these levels at all, it's actually arguably lower than some of these levels over here back when we were at 30, which was this level of 123 that we closed at. We closed at 120, just under 120, and the RSI is substantially higher than that level. So, a bunch of things pointing towards the fact that Tesla is looking, honestly, slightly more bullish than bearish for the short term. I want to make that very clear, for the short term. This doesn't mean the downtrend is done. The only time I would ever consider Tesla's bottom to potentially be in is if we break out of this yellow line, which will be essentially well over 150. Then you can start making arguments that the bottom is in for Tesla. Until then, it absolutely is not in for Tesla. Absolutely not. Right, like pretty much with a guarantee, it's like 99% chance it's not in, and we at the very least come back down to 100 to make a double bottom, if not maybe go even lower to my ultimate price range between $90 to $60, right? So that's essentially kind of what more or less I am seeing. But ultimately, again, the main thing I'm personally eyeballing right now is to see if whether or not we come up to to test this trend line again around that 145-ish level, to which I will personally be selling calls against. And if we don't, then when we fall from here, that's fine, I guess. I will most likely just be selling puts, right? And the put I bought will also hopefully make some decent profits. The 21 EMA is still well above us, as you can see, sitting at 133. So definitely wouldn't be surprised to potentially touch that as well. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But the first and foremost thing that I really, really want to see, let's take a look at the 50 moving average. The 50 is still well above us as well. 200 is not even remotely close. Not even worth talking about. If we go to here though, let's see. Yeah, the 200 is sitting at 166 actually on the monthly or on the weekly chart. So I doubt we're going to go there either. I mean, we could in theory, but I highly, highly doubt it. However, all that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, that's more or less what I am seeing at the very moment, right? That's kind of the current picture and the current, way I see Tesla stock playing out at the very moment, right? And again, the very most important thing I'll personally be looking at as of very, very short term is going to be a break above this level right here that we've gotten rejected several times, right? Acted as a support here, now it's acting as a double resistance, so definitely want to be crossing this level right here that we are clearly having issues with to ultimately potentially come up to retest the overall trend, not the overall, but the medium term downtrend that we are in, which of course is the yellow lines, and the overall downtrend would be this overall red line up here, which would in theory take us up to 260, though obviously the chances of going up there is like 5%. I highly doubt we'll be going there anytime soon, right? Just keep that in mind. But all that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm seeing. Let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, give you guys the important levels to watch out for and things to keep in mind. Again, make it nice and simple and concise. If you want more upside, break 123, 125, that general level, break that thing. If you're a bear and you want to see this thing crash back down to at least 100 roughly, you want to essentially lose about a 113 to 110. You want that level to be broken, and then we pretty much will go back down to about 100 or low 100s, right? So yeah, all that being said, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. See you for the next one. Peace.